All right, good morning, everyone. We're here in sunny Toronto, right? It's sunny today. That's kind
Yeah,
of
I
the
don't
feeling.
think I don't think that's the key descriptor of Toronto right now, but yes, it is actually
A
sunny.
little sunny, yes.
Uh,
Maybe a little bit colder than I'm used to, but we're here. We're playing card games, so it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Temperature inside, who cares what's inside. And what's inside is the 401 Games Toronto Regionals for the OP13 meta of the One Piece card game. I think it's the first weekend of it legal, at least for an in-person regional. So that's going to be really exciting. And we have the new set. We've got a smaller part 2 of this season, trying to get our invitations for the Las Vegas Bandai Card Game Fest, which is going to happen in 2 months from now?
yeah. I think February was it?
Yeah, February. Yeah.
No, it's Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day,
That's
yes.
the funniest thing people talk about.
Yes, exactly. So
Yep.
people are trying to find those, make sure they have to save the dates for that weekend with this one,
Yep.
and it should be a lot of fun. So I think we do have the first game kind of ready. We're kind of hitting the ground running a little bit today, but we do have a new meta right now. We've got a lot of new decks kind of running around. We've seen, obviously Emu has been very popular. I think that might be one of the decks that we look at for this first game. We have Ace going on as well. But Jeremy, if you were to play in this event today, what would you be playing?
I mean, I think Emu is so strong, but I just love Ace so much.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm so conflicted because I feel like if I was playing to win, it's Emu, but if I'm playing for how much I love the deck and the character, it's Ace.
Yeah,
100%.
And if you were, I think we were talking about this earlier. So I asked you what you thought was going to win today, right? You said last night you said Emu. You can still change your mind.
I still think it's Emu.
Okay.
Because just it has so much more flexibility than Ace, and that's a very strong key point of it. Even though
Gotcha.
I love Ace, I would still concede that Emu is a more flexible deck.
For sure. So I'll take the other side on Ace for that one, but I think we might know what's going to win on this next one. So I think we're going to go into round 1 pretty shortly, and I think it's going to be an Emu mirror match. We were kind of just jumping into a game, but let's see what's over there.
Yeah, we've got Kevin facing off against Ethan here. It's an Emu mirror match. We've got Ethan going second, so he's going to have that advantage. They both bring out the Mary Joie stage, so we've got that 1-cost stage for reduced plays. Just given in the mirror, that's the important stage to play. Reduces all Celestial Dragon characters cost by 1, as long as they're 2 or greater. Yeah.
For sure. And so, this matchup's the mirror match is like the most unique mirror match in the game, I'd find, right? Because you're so used to saying, right, I'm going to play the Empty Throne, I'm going to be able to get all these like 3-Dawn plays, but in this matchup, since there's removal from it with the It Never Existed, we do have to use the Mary Joie stage instead. So, as you mentioned, reduction by 1 for everything is nice. We do have a Saturn there to be able to look at the top of our deck for another one, so being able to find itself. And yeah, what's your thought about the kind of the mirror match for Emu?
So I've played this a few times. I haven't been kind of too studied on it, but I find that if people are joking, it plays a lot like pre-release. It's a lot of combat fundamentals. How good are you at doing value trades? How many of the searchers or draw ones and +1s you're getting? Just because you're going card for card against another Emu for so many turns.
Yeah.
It's really just like a skill expression via just hardcore fundamentals.
Yeah, and you were mentioning it yesterday too, and I like this. This is a bit of a flowchart meta in a little bit, so sometimes it can be a little deterministic. But I'd say like the flowchart for Emu is just so varied, right? Like there's so many different steps, so many different routes you go down. And that's kind of, it is probably one of the most optimized decks when it comes to consistency in this game because of all the searching you get to do. But you still have to find the cards. You still have to go down the path correctly, and it's going to be, a lot of back and forth. So we just have another 5K going on in.
Yeah, we're seeing Ethan obviously can't block yet with the Warkery. Not that he wants to, because he wants to keep that 5K body in check, but currently... Yeah, Ethan choosing to go to a pretty low life total, going down to 2.
Yeah.
Interesting. And they're both kind of playing this matchup how we expect. The St. Charles is a pretty big deal in this matchup for that extra blocker, but both of them are just playing out the cards, the early game cards that are 3-cost 5Ks essentially, that draw them a card. So Ethan's developed the Warkery that, on KO will draw a card, versus Kevin has now played the 2 searchers to get him +1 card.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of advantage on that side, being able to also apply pressure. It's 3 life to 2 right now, and yeah, it's if you're a 4-life monocolor leader, there's usually a good reason for it. This deck can be so defensive; it can have so much value swing, and I think the other thing is like making sure that you're in the best position for when you're kind of trading your 5 elders back to back on turn 10. That's going to be the biggest difference, I think.
Yeah, I think. Letting your opponent keep the board and how to make that decision is really tough, because if you let them have too big of a board and you play Jupiter, Oh, those 7K swings really just do a lot of work all at once. It becomes a really annoying situation.
Yeah, agreed. And Ethan's definitely thinking here. Looks like he's got, maybe not the cards he's necessarily seeing. You're seeing both players are playing, again, the blocker. Sometimes it's like the only card that can really be removed here. So you do have to block when it makes sense to. We're going to go double fives into the Saturn, get 2 cards out of hand. And it looks like we're going to just play,
Double
2 more
Workery.
copies of Workery.
Yeah. I had to make sure to double check the art again because there's so many beautiful arts for these these cards that I gotta remember what's what. But yeah, these are 3 Workeries in play. So very, I mean, I actually don't know which you prefer between the Searcher and the Blocker.
Yeah.
Because they both are net 1, but the Blocker doesn't net you 1 unless it dies, and you kind of don't want that to happen because you need the board.
And the one that you get from Saturn is more consistent, right? Like it's a better one more times than not. So yeah, looks like we're just going to go with another safety 5K.
Yeah, this is an interesting position. Like, I feel I can see Kevin kind of thinking about it. He's seeing, okay, there's 3 Workeries. This is kind of a unique situation where, like, I don't think you see this kind of arrangement very often, especially because double 5Ks. Oh, but we're seeing him kind of mash this. We're seeing triple Workery versus triple Saturn.
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna decide which is better in the mirror. We're kind of learning that here.
For sure. I mean, I would say, I don't know. Ethan, you can tell you're looking at him. He's like, you can tell he's a little frustrated, right? Not seeing a Saturn, especially in a deck where you have so much capacity for searching, is a little rough. But at least we are playing these bodies on curve, right? We do see our 5 Elders added from the Saturn, so unsurprising that's going to be coming down on 10 Dawn, I think.
Yeah, and these 5Ks are going in. Oh, yeah, no, I can definitely see how the Saturn is much better because you get that card draw right up front.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, like, if they swing into your board, you can choose to let it go or not. Ethan has to decide, like, do I want the card from countering out maybe? Or, like, do I want the card from it dying? Or would I rather counter out and keep this board? Because, yeah, that Jupiter is going to come down, like, very soon.
For sure. The other thing is that I won't say that I'm an Emu master. I think there's people that are way better than me and have had more accomplishments for it. But whenever I play this deck in the mirror match, cards like, it never existed. It went from like the best card in the deck to the worst card in the deck sometimes. Because when you have to commit 10 Dawn on your, to be able to use your 5 Elder, you're not going to have any left over for some of your defensive events. So I find when I play it, I like to try to use my events early to try to get that early defense to stay healthy. Because otherwise, it goes from a card that, you're very easily keeping Dawn open and having defenses to just a bit of a liability.
Yeah, and it's very true because, like, mirrors are so dependent on that, using a card when you're supposed to be using it. Knowing, like, what's the best time to use this, knowing that you both have kind of mirrored resources.
Yeah.
And we're seeing the blocker come out from Kevin's side. So 4 Elders on Kevin's side and a blocker.
Yeah.
So definitely a very demanding board presence right now, and Ethan is at 2 life right now.
Yeah, and also getting a 5 Elders out of hand, that must mean.
Oh, he's giving it up.
It's a little tough, and these Workeries now just became blockers if I'm looking at the trash right. It's a little bit tricky for us to know how many cards are in trash, but yeah, we do see, I think, at least 7, so they will be able to start blocking, but yeah, and I think it's at least 7 on each side, so there it is.
Yeah. Ethan going deep in the tank to think about this one. He's had his 8 Dawn turn. He knows that next turn a big play can be playing that 10 drop, but I think he's wondering now, how safe am I? How bad is the 9 Dawn turn going to be? Because at the very least, with Kevin being at such a healthy life total, you're seeing at least 5K swings coming across. So he's probably now debating, can I even address this board? Because with the Charlos there, if you put 2 Dawn on leader and swing 7, it's not going to go through. But we're seeing Nustro get dropped here. So he's got that Rusher active, but he doesn't have the -2 active. I don't think he has the 10 cards in trash.
I don't believe they do, right? Because I think we have 9.
Yeah, we'll get production to check over or to give us some information. But Nustro's, people who don't know, Nustro gets the rush effect even if you have only 7 cards in trash because it's tied to the anti-KO.
Yeah.
But the actual minus power ability is tied to having 10 cards in trash.
Yeah. So it's a tough call here. Yeah, we'd have to make sure if he's got the 10 for Venus Juro there, but
yeah.
Even then, like, what are you doing? You're just attacking, a 5 into a 3, which can get you some value, but
And I think with Ethan not sending that attack in first, he knows that the -2 is not active, because otherwise you would have just done it first. But
Yeah. Oh, but he is attacking with it. So I'd assume that there are 10 cards in that trash. He had... Okay.
So the Nusro did have Rush, but it did not have the -2k power. But
Okay.
this lets... Oh, this passes back to Kevin in a very demanding position because you've got 4 characters on board, and you could just drop Jupiter right now.
Yeah.
And you can do some crazy things. We see Kevin looking at his trash to make sure he has enough, I think, for playing Jupiter, because same reason, Jupiter needs 10 in trash to be active.
Yeah.
Those of you at home who don't know what Jupiter does, Jupiter is the Elder that is a 7 cost, 5k body, also un-KOable. And we see it come down here. It turns all of your 5 Elders into base power 7k. So now these are 4 7k swings coming across the board. And it's 2 blockers.
Yeah. So blocking a 5k doesn't feel amazing, but yeah, I understand that we have to do it.
No, I think it's 7 now. I think
you're right.
They're active. So
You're right.
This is...
All right, that feels a little bit better.
Anyone who's played against Emu knows that when Jupiter's on board like this with this many Elders, you're just, it's like a 0 life angle.
Yeah. And it really is just the fact that I don't think we've seen a single copy of Saturn. And the issue is that when you don't see your first Saturn, you're likely not seeing your second Saturn, right?
Yep.
So, we're using the event there to get out of it, which, again, I think that can be a bit of a liability later in the game. Not much you can do about that 7k. Another 7k, 2k1. 1 card in hand. And, again, I don't think we have the Elders that we need.
Yeah, I think from Kevin's side, he's done the math. He thought about it. I was wondering, like, is he going to clear at least 1 body? But he says, you know what? I'm at 3 life. I've got this 1 Dawn up. You've got, 3 swings. If you play the Jupiter, you're actually not getting that much more advantage because, like, you're basically, if you Dawn up your characters, you get the same swing amount.
Yeah.
So he knows there's no huge threat here of just, like, outright dying.
All right, we're going 5 into 5. Yeah. Specifically that one, because there's 3
The
of
one that's been doing the most damage.
Exactly, yeah, the first one you played.
Yeah. See, that is one of the bad manners. If you have 2 copies of a card, 1 alt art, 1 not, and they clear the one that's the alt art, you know.
Yeah. They're upset. And we have, we're doing 1 more 5. Yeah, not even trying to save it. Honestly, I wouldn't be too upset. I mean, we don't have a lot of cards in hand for the Greasy here, but we are going to be able to get... Again, I don't think we have all 5. Yeah, we have not seen a single copy of Saturn.
Ooh.
Really upsetting here.
So this makes this play a lot less card neutral or card advantage because you don't get that refresh.
Did we discard 1 for...
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah.
I always forget, but it's the Nustros event. I'll remember.
Yeah, because we did get 1 more draw off the cycle off it. Yeah. So we are just going... we should be... I think we have enough to make it a 7k, so we do get the removal there. But then we do have 2 blockers, right, and Workery, but...
1 card in hand, you can just swing 5s, and that's already enough.
Yeah.
And kind of force the block. So 7 coming across the board. You don't even to think, it's going definitely to face. Yep. He's trashing. Yep, making sure to get rid of that card, to get that +1 before you start doing your Elders. Trashes the search event in order to get all 5 out with literally a clean sweep just across the board.
Yeah. And the issue, too, with not having Saturn is just again, at least you help get that card back that you discard for 5 Elders, but when it's the one that's missing, it just feels awful. Yeah,
this is looking like one of those games that kind of just ran away from that point of just not seeing the Saturn. Would love to speak to these players about kind of their mulls and how they mulled into the situation. I feel Kevin was very confident in his opener because of these access to these Workeries, access to these Saturns. 7 come across.
Yeah, deciding to get the block there. It's important, too, because we want to make sure that we have enough attacks to get over the fact that they get 2 free blocks next turn. Again, but that's assuming that we have a 5 Elders, and looking like Ethan's man, this is tough. Going down to 0.
Yep.
And we do have another 5 Elders, so that does help. We will get 2 5k attacks. Sorry, a 7k and a 5k attack. We're just going to discard 1 to draw 1.
tough
But-
position because, you know, this turn,
Yeah,
the
just
most you're
giving
doing
up,
is you're
yeah.
clearing the Nistro. Yeah,
I just couldn't find Saturn. He's probably looking for it right now. He's like, where is he?
Yep.
I got the alt arts. You know, I got
Yeah.
the fancy one so I can see you, and you were just hiding in the deck there.
Yeah. They should really buff alt arts so
They
that
need
you
to.
can see them more often.
I think, you know, I would be a bit more inclined to spend some money on that if that's the case. So hopefully they find that technology out in a little bit for it. But yeah, that is our game. I do know that, you know, starting off with an Emu matchup, maybe not, likely not the first time or last time we're going to see that for this, but this round was a little bit hitting the ground running, so we will be trying to find something new. I know a lot of people have been wanting Sabo as well. OP13 sincerely does have a lot, like every leader's viable, I think. Yeah, I think obviously some more than others, but Sabo's been very good. Roger's been present. I know one of my buddies is playing Red Green Luffy, so if he wins round 1, I said that we could probably get him on stream. So
of course.
A little pressure, but he thrives under that, so we'll see how he did for it.
And if we can find a Lim player out there, because there's,
of course.
If you know Toronto, there's always people who love to play decks that counter the best deck, just to be like, I'm gonna find you.
Yeah, and someone's cosplaying Lim here today
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. So I immediately, as soon as I walked into the venue, I'm like, all right, people like Lim out here. This is cool. So I think that'll be something. If there's any, if you guys know of any players that are here with any alternative decks too, we'd love to feature them on the stream. So let us know. We'll try our best to find them. This is so when we are in Toronto, Canada. Once again, this is a 5-12, 9 rounds of Swiss best of 1 tournament. So we should have 9 rounds of that, right? We're not having a top cut. There's no day 2, so it's just one and done for us today. And as you kind of mentioned it too, because of that too, there can be like an atypical deck have a really great day and just get to that first spot, right? Yep.
Some things can really just shine in Swiss in these like smaller format tournaments. I can speak for that because I top with Gecko in that same format. I love that situation, but definitely a lot of interest here in Toronto. I've heard that there was the highest number of waitlist players for a tournament like ever.
Yeah.
We had so like definitely looks well for the next year. I believe there will be a lot more day 2 tournaments in Toronto.
Yeah.
So make sure to stay tuned for that.
Yeah, for sure. So we are going to go into round 2 in a little bit. I know that there will be a little bit of wait time, but we're going to go to a deck profile in case you guys are checking on some of the decks that exist right now in OP13. So we'll send you guys over there, and we'll be back for round number 2. So see you then.
One Piece card game players, I hope you're enjoying the 401 December 6th Toronto One Piece card game regional. It's been fun to make, so hopefully it's fun to watch too. I don't know when you're watching this, you may have seen this deck 4 times, 5 times. If this is the final round and you're watching it, you may have seen it 9 times, but it's the deck that everyone loves to hate and hates to love. It's Emu, the best deck, the most terrifying One Piece character brought into the game, terrorizing everyone. Now, I'll be talking about Emu, and first I'll have to talk about the leader ability, which is already so complicated. Emu's first one is a stipulation that prohibits it from doing something. So Emu cannot play events with a cost of 2 or greater in the deck. This is because Emu has a very powerful ability and several powerful abilities that events, which are scaled to other black leaders, simply just make the deck too good. So as a part of the balancing of it, Emu cannot use events that cost 2 or greater. You can only use 1 cost events. Now onto the next one. Emu has a very unique ability and says that when you start the game, before you actually begin the game, after deciding turn order, you may choose one of these 2 stages to enter the game already there. You can choose the Empty Throne or Mary Joie. Both these cards are tools to help Emu summon out characters for less than the cost that they have. Mary Joie is one of them. It's a 1 cost stage, but the cost does not matter if you're playing via Emu's leader ability. Any Celestial Dragon that you play with a cost of 2 or more from your hand is reduced by 1, meaning that a 4 cost is 3, a 3 cost is 2, a 5 cost is 4, a 6 cost is 5. Lets you play something out a bit earlier, but this is not the stage that people usually choose. The one that they usually choose is the much more terrifying Empty Throne. The Empty Throne that should have no one sitting on it, but instead there is this monster. The Empty Throne says that if it is your turn and you have 19 more cards in your trash, your leader will gain 1,000 power on your turn, meaning that on your turn, as you attack and you have 19 or more in trash, you will swing for 6,000, meaning you can challenge Ace, you can challenge Whitebeard, you can challenge UP Luffy, but it's that extra little bit of punch that makes it easy for Emu to be such an aggressive and powerful deck. Now, this is the truly terrifying ability because if you've ever seen an Emu with a bunch of Dawn, or even just 5 Dawn, and you see 3 Dawn get rested and the stage get rested, you know what is happening. For 3 Dawn and resting the empty throne, Emu may play any of the Celestial Dragons, or rather 5 Elder cards, for a cost of only these 3 Dawn. So it does not matter if this card costs 4, I may rest 3 and I may play it. If it is a 5 Elder, like let's say Marcus Mars, that costs 6, I can rest 3 and play it. The only stipulation that the Empty Throne has is that you have as much Dawn as it would take to cast this card normally. So for Marcus Mars, that would be 6. For something like Garcia Saturn, it would be 4. For something like Jupiter, it'd be 7. So in this situation, I have 6 Dawn. I cannot play Jupiter, but if I was at 7, then I would be able to rest 3 Dawn and play using the Empty Throne. So this is a very powerful ability because you get to play out these very powerful characters for only 3 Dawn. So you can do that once per turn because the stage rests itself. So very powerful ability. It's what lets Emu be so explosive and get all these early game advantages, as well as the strongest thing. So if you ever see an Emu at 10 Dawn, you're probably terrified because Emu can rest 3 Dawn and the stage to play out a 10 cost 12k for 3 Dawn? Yeah, I don't know. That's some weird math, but yeah, 3 for 12, pretty good. That's not a deal you could see anywhere, really. This is the most powerful ability of Emu, is that for 3 Dawns you can play the 5 Elders, but I won't get into what the 5 Elders does yet because that's the next part. Let's talk about what kind of people would like to play Emu. Now, Emu is a very, very high skill capped deck. It is a deck that requires a lot of thinking, a lot of observation onto what your opponent is doing, what cards are in your trash, what cards you've seen in the deck, because as Emu, you go through so much of the deck, you mill many cards, you draw many cards, you search many cards, that you have a pretty good idea of what's in your life and what is the last 10 cards of your deck, as well as you may have actually put them there with your searches. It makes Emu very powerful for someone who is thoughtful, methodical, and constantly paying attention to the statistics, the odds, the chances. So Emu is a high skill cap deck for people who may have liked control decks like Sakazuki or decks like Blackbeard. This deck is also very good at closing out games and just locking your opponent out. So if you're a person who likes to play the late game style, you'll really like it. Difficulty rating of Emu. I think Emu is a very hard deck to play because the deck is just simply so good that to get to the full limits of the deck, you'll have to play many, many times. And every time you will learn something new. That being said, if you're just picking up Emu, it is the cheapest deck you can pick up right now. Ace is also pretty cheap too, but Emu is definitely cheaper by about a half or a third. It's a deck that if you pick up, it will immediately be strong. It will be a strong contender at your locals, maybe except for your bad matchups, you'll have to learn very well, but you will have to pick it up pretty easily. It's the mastery of Emu that is going to be difficult, and maybe keeping track of your hand size and how different abilities work. So more of a knowledge challenge than it is like explicit execution challenge. But nonetheless, high skill, but I would not tell you to not try it just because of that, because I think you'll enjoy it quite a bit. Now let's go into talking about the deck itself. There are two things that I think make Emu's win condition. One is the Empty Throne, the other one being the 5 Elders card, as well as each Elder themselves. Each Elder in this deck contains a ton of value when you play them. So cards like Saturn let you search the top 5 cards of your deck for a 5 Elder and add to your hand. So when you play Garcia for, let's say, 3 Dawn, you get to draw a card. Wow, it's a neutral card, very strong. It's a 5k body for 3, which is on curve. And in addition to that, as long as you have 7 or more cards in your trash, your opponent cannot remove Saturn from the field via abilities, which means you can't bounce it, you can't bottom deck it, you can't KO it. You can only clear it through combat, which makes Saturn a very sticky card and a lot of aggression. Warcry, similarly, same effect in terms of the unremovability, but also if you have 7 more cards in trash, you also get to give it blocker. So it has blocker now, and on KO, you get to draw a card, which means that if you block with it and it dies, you get to draw a card. So once again, similar to Saturn, a card neutral card. Ethan Baron Venustro, or Nustro, which is a rush card that when rushing with 7 cards in trash, you can reduce the power of one of your opponent's characters by 2,000 if you have 10 or more cards in trash. Meaning, if there is powerful units on your opponent's board, you can try to clear it by reducing its power and then attacking with all your little units into it. And then Marcus Mars is a Elder that is played for 6, just like Nustro, but 3 with the Empty Throne. So it lets you pitch a card from your hand to KO something that is 5 base cost or less. So Koala's Revolutionary Army cost protection does not actually stop it from being KO'd, which makes this base cost KO incredibly powerful. And then to finish it all off, there is one of the most terrifying 5 elders, which is Shepherd Jupiter, which for 7 Dawn, but in this case 3 because Empty Throne, will set all of your 5 elders to 7,000 base power, meaning all these little 5k swings, oh, they're not 5k anymore. They are 7k swings, and if you have been playing this game, and even if you're not, 7k is the magic number. If you're a 5k leader, it means each of these swings is gonna take 2 cards from your hand. This is a lot of damage coming at you and is very hard to stop. And it is very punishing to let Emu keep a board, but it's also near impossible to clear these bodies because why? They have removal protection as long as you have 7 or more in trash, which makes the assembling of these 5 elders your win condition. When you have assembled all 5 of these elders, there is so much damage on the board. There are so many cards in your hand. There's so many chances to remove characters. It is truly terrifying. Just like if you watch or read One Piece, you know that when you've seen these 5 together, things are about to get bad. Worse than Buster Call bad. That's how bad it is. So, but you're saying, oh, but it takes 5 turns to get all these elders out, right? That's a lot of turns. You know, I'm fine. They play 1 elder a turn. They don't get to 5 very quickly at all. Well, let me tell you something. They thought of that too, guys. If you are at 10 Dawn and you rest 3 Dawn, you can play any 5 elder as long as it costs 10 or less, which means this card, 5 elders, counts, which says if your leader is Emu, you may rest 1 of your Dawn and trash a card from your hand. And what this card will do is it will summon all 5 elders from your trash immediately after trashing itself. Meaning, for 3 Dawn +1 and +1 card, you have summoned 5 terrifying elders to torment your opponent with. All for that. And once they come in, you will search a card from Garcia. You may discard a card to KO something. You can now rush your Nustro and swing 7 into something while reducing it by 2. You may also then, on your opponent's turn, block with 2 of these blockers, one of which will draw you a card, meaning you are drawing cards, you are attacking, you're doing all sorts of things, all for 4 Dawn. It's crazy. That is the win con. Now let's talk about how you get there. Your early turns when you play Emu are pretty simple. On your 1 or 2 Dawn turn, it's all about searching. You need to have each of these elders in your trash by the time your 5 elders card comes out, because everything is about playing this card. So, first thing you want to do is you want to play searchers like the 5 elders are at your service or Saint Sharia, both of which will fill your trash with cards as you search, while also helping you develop a game plan. So let's say I want more counter cards. There are 5 elder cards or Celestial Dragon cards that give you counter, like the world's equilibrium cannot be maintained. So the 5 elders card will help you look at top 3 cards looking for a 5 elders or Celestial Dragon card. Sharia will do something very similar, where what you can do is you will look at the top 3 cards of your deck for a Celestial Dragon, you'll grab it, but then you must now discard a card. Well, why do you have to discard a card? There is something that makes Emu very broken that I didn't mention earlier, which is you can trash any card from your hand or any character in play that is a Celestial Dragon to draw a card, which means that during the early game turns where you are playing your searchers, not only are you playing these searchers, you can actively choose to pitch any card and draw. And once per turn, you can do that. Or if, let's say, you have a character in play that you don't need, like the Sharia that you just searched with, that forces you to pitch a card, you can trash it to draw a card. Even if you have something, let's say, Jay Garcia, and you've searched with it, and you've swung, and you say, you know what, Elder, you've done your job. You can trash it and draw a card. Do you have a useless card in your hand? Like, let's say you don't actually need this Shirahoshi, which is very cute, and you don't need it right now. You can trash it and draw a card. And you can do that once per turn, meaning over the course of, let's say, 5 turns, you would have drawn 5 different cards and cycled accordingly. With that, that is your first few turns as Emu. You are going to search with things like Sharia and the 5 elders at your service, while also pitching cards from your hand to draw. Going into your first aggressive turns, you can play things like Jay Garcia Saturn, which is a searcher himself, or Topman War Curry, both of which help you generate card advantage and start developing that board. As you know that when Jupiter comes down, it gets a lot stronger. So these are kind of your mid-game plays to help you kind of establish. People often even just play this again and again into those 5, 6, 7 Dawn turns just because these are just great cards. They refill your hand. And, you know, given that it's very cheap to play them, only 3 Dawn, you have like a lot of Dawn left to work with to do things like swing 6, attach to your leader, swing 7, and leave Dawn upstanding for events, which we'll talk about after. So yeah, that is your mid-game turn. Next, we go into the next, which we've already talked about, which is Nistros and Jupiter and Mars, which are really great ways to either clear board with combat, clear board with removal, or develop just really strong stats in swinging and just really push aggression in that moment. And then we're gonna go into our 10 Dawn turn, which is the 5 Elders. But I did tell you that we're gonna talk about how we get to this point and how we get to that point safely. So one of the very, very powerful things about Emu is counter events. Specifically, never existed in the first place, and the world's equilibrium cannot be maintained. What these cards do is they are both dual effect counter cards, which have been a recent development in One Piece card game, where not only is it a card that can help you counter out, it has a secondary effect that can be activated on main if you pay more Dawn. Now, never existed in the first place is a card that, as long as your leader is Emu, you can give any leader or character plus 4,000 power. Meaning it's going to be really hard to hurt Emu or any of the 5 Elders as long as there is at least 1 Dawn standing. And trust me, Emu's going to leave more than 1 Dawn standing. Why? Because of cards like the world's equilibrium cannot be maintained is an event that lets you give your leader plus 3,000 on counter, meaning swinging 7, 1 Dawn. No, you're not. Swinging 8,000, 1 Dawn, never used in the first place? Yep, no attack happened. So these are very powerful counter events that help you kind of get to that late game. And not only that, even during the late game, when you start playing these Elders for only 3 Dawn, having all this Dawn left up to defend yourself means that you can mix between attaching the Dawn to leader to attack, attaching it to the Elders and attacking, or saving more Dawn to make sure that you can play all the events you've searched in your hand to just make sure you never die. Even to a Gold D Roger unblockable swing, you would still survive. I've seen Emus get out of 23,000 attacks, like 23,000 power attacks, which is insane. But these are a key part of the game plan. All right. So with that, you've learned some stuff about the key win cons of this deck, which is this Elder, survivability, and simply just the swarming of board with these terrifying monsters. Even as I bring them out, I'm getting flashbacks of having this card played against me, and it is terrifying. Look at them. 5 cards, 4 Dawn. You love to hate to see it. But with that, that is Emu and how Emu plays, but I'll talk about 2 really quick things and let you guys go back to the wonderful game that you're watching, which is the tech cards. Because you know what, even in this meta, I bet you there are still people who are chefs who love interesting cards. One is Shirahoshi, the other one is an event that is quite fun, featuring one of our favorite Marines. After all these years, I'm losing my edge. So I'll talk about Shirahoshi first. Shirahoshi's effect is that you may rest Shirahoshi. Oh, first of all, Shirahoshi's a 2K, so like, no matter what, this card is good. You rest 1 to play Shirahoshi, and you rest Shirahoshi. You send 2 cards to the bottom of your deck, and your opponent, if they have 6 or more cards in hand, they must trash 1. Why is this so powerful in Emu? If you play Emu, there are many times you'll end the game with maybe 2 cards left in deck, or maybe even 0 and lose the game. So sending cards back to your deck is really, really important so you don't lose the game. It also lets you send back, I don't know, 2 of your most important cards, like maybe 2 copies of 5 Elders, so you can just keep going and keep pushing Elders onto your opponent and just trying to win off that. The other thing is that against leaders like, let's say, Ace, that are very hard to hit because of how tanky they are, you can use Shirahoshi to force cards out of their hand. And because it only costs 1 Dawn to play, normally, this is easy to remove for your opponent because they have searchers and little bodies to swing into Shirahoshi. But if Ace has no searchers or bodies to swing into Shirahoshi, they may end up swinging 7 or 8 or even 9k into a Shirahoshi because they have to clear it because it's as if Shirahoshi's attacking you. Imagine you play a 1-cost Shirahoshi and you're functionally attacking an Ace for 1 card. And if they don't clear it, you attack again. So Ace is forced to remove Shirahoshi to prevent that from happening, or always maintain a searcher on board so they can always be able to clear the Shirahoshi should it come out. Meanwhile, Emu can set up game plans where they put important cards back to the bottom of the deck so they can keep using it over and over and over again, creating an endless cycle of 5 Elder Summons, which is not something I want to think about. Lastly, after all these years, I'm losing my edge. We talked about how Shirahoshi is this great card. What this card does is up to one of your leader character cards will gain 1,000 power during this battle, and then if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, you can add 1 black character card with a cost of 3 or less from your trash to your hand. Now, this card might not make a lot of sense until I explain how it does. So, I rest 1 Dawn. I give my leader plus 1,000. All right, maybe I get out of a 5,000 power attack. Pretty good. I look through my trash now to find a card. Oh, what can I grab? I grab Shirahoshi, which is a 2K. I could grab a Searcher. I could grab another 2K. But probably I can grab these things. But why does that matter? So let's say my opponent swings at me for 5. This event counters out, and I grab a 2K to my hand. And then they swing for 6. I give the 2K. Which means, despite your opponent attacking you twice, this card means that you can counter out of both attacks with only 1 card, because this card grabs the Shirahoshi. The other thing is, let's say they swing at you for 7,000. I play this, give myself 1,000, I grab Shirahoshi, I pitch Shirahoshi immediately, going to 8,000 in total, getting out of the attack, meaning this is functionally a 3,000 counter power event. But the last reason being, let's say I'm in a tough spot and I'm playing against an ace player who's really just like doing well in trying to maintaining that pressure, and I need a Shirahoshi to start getting cards out of his hand. So I can play this to grab a Shirahoshi from my trash into my hand and then use it next turn to begin attacking ace and taking cards out of their hand. So this card is highly flexible for defense and offense, which makes it a great addition to Emu, especially because the condition of 10 cards in trash is rather easy to fulfill when you're Emu. But with that, I hope you have learned much about this highly skilled deck, which I am still learning and hopefully doing a good job casting. But that is the Emu deck profile. If you want to go pick up this deck, it's very cheap right now. It's a really great time to get into the game if you're looking for a cheap deck that might be fun. So if you're watching at home and you're interested in learning more about Emu, go grab a deck, go look up some deck lists, and go have some fun, because this deck is the cheapest competitive deck that has ever been in One Piece card game. So it's a great time. But yeah, with that, have a lot of fun, and I hope you guys aren't sick of seeing Emu or me and the casting team just yet. But yeah, you guys have fun, and I'll catch you soon.
Welcome back, One Piece card game players. We're getting an exciting round 2. We have two brothers facing off. I don't mean that they're two brothers in real life. I mean the two brothers that we love to see, which is we're seeing Red-Green Luffy, the new one, versus Red-Blue Ace. So a very fun matchup.
Yeah, you got to clarify there's a new one, right? So it's been around since set 1, but we do have a new one here. And honestly, I've always said, like, if it was released a set earlier, this deck would be tier 1, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you've got a lot of contention with the decks that release alongside an OP13.
Yeah, and we're seeing definitely like a love this leader because we're seeing more support come up for it too. So let's see how good it is now and hype it up.
Yeah, so we'll jump over that in 30. But we do have such a meta right now where Ace and Emu are so known. But it also means that if you're playing a deck that's not like that, there's like a 50-50 chance your opponent like does not know what you run, how it works, and everything. And so I do think that there's this avenue for some of these more like tier 1.5 decks, I'd say, to get some advantage just because your opponent isn't ready for what you're able to do.
Exactly. The greatest compliment of all. Can I read what your leader does?
Yes.
Of course you may.
So, yeah, let's just jump on over there then.
Yeah, so let's go check out. There we go. We see the fist bump start. So I believe, Luffy is going first. So I think that means that Ace has one dice roll because, Ace has one dice roll and has chosen second. If you're playing Luffy, you also want that going second curve too, just for that extra Dawn use, and you have really good 4 and 6 drops. But nonetheless, you still have a playable first, and we see a Nami Searcher come down, so we're looking for certain pieces right now.
Yeah, and I think we do have some pretty okay odd curve, right? Obviously, we have so many searchers, right? All of these decks that are red from the set have Garp, one of the best searchers in the game, right? Nami, old reliable as well, being able to search out the Zoro. And, we do have the new 5-drop Sanji. That'd be great. There's the Garp, as mentioned, too. Yeah, such a great card.
Yeah. And we're seeing typical OP13 openers from either side, which is just start digging for the pieces because there's so much powerful search consistency that's coming out of these new decks.
Yeah, and we just start off with the I am Newgate off the top there, knowing that we're on even curve as well. So as long as we find a 10-drop Newgate, that's coming out on turn 8, so a little bit scary. But we've got, honestly, I'm looking at some pretty okay cards for Luffy here, but this might be one of the more awkward turns.
Yeah. One of the really nice things I love about this deck is that, you can always kind of make your turn a little less awkward just because you can just decide, I don't have any play. You know what? Put one Dawn on a leader, swing, leave up a bunch of Dawn, and just counter out.
Yeah. And Beard's deciding to just take that early damage there, going down to 2. Ace does have the great ability that if you have a Dawn attached and you take damage, once per turn you get that extra draw. So even though it's a 3-life leader, it's kind of a 6-life leader to be able to get those double draws on life takes as long as you have the Dawn open. And we'll see if they drop the Marco here. Usually a favorable second, turn second going second curve.
Yeah. And definitely, one of the reasons to take the first hit going second as Ace is that if you don't take that hit there for the extra draw for that turn, on your 4 Dawn turn, if you play Marco, you don't have the Dawn attached, so you don't really want to lose the life or the Marco.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to counter out. So you get that +1 card from the first hit, so you can basically navigate this turn going into a stronger turn after. But we're actually not seeing the Marco come out. We're seeing an Otama, which is, I don't think that's your ideal happy path here. So that's kind of interesting that Spears has to dig further.
Yeah. Yeah, not like, again, with a deck that has so much consistency pieces and so many draws. Looks like we're just carding a 9-drop Newgate, and then we're just going a big 9 here. So I think that Tyler left some Dawn open to say, you know what, I can get out of a 6K attack and get out of an 8K attack, but 9K is a little bit more than I was expecting, and now I got to decide if I want to get rid of an extra 1K out of my hand.
Yeah, for those at home who don't know kind of what Red-Green Luffy does yet, Red-Green Luffy's ability is that, you can rest basically a Dawn to give a leader or character that is Straw Hat typed +2k on your opponent's attack. So it's free 2k counters as long as the character or leader is a Straw Hat, and as long as you only have 5 active Dawn to spend on this. So you can get up to 10k free counter per turn. But we see Tyler decide to take that hit because he didn't want to give the 1k from hand. But yeah.
Yeah, and we do have the Cavendish here, so getting 2 Dawn back active is nice. We get to decide if we want to go 6K or 7K this turn. I think that attaching 1, keeping it open for defense and being able to at least pressure 1 card a hand from Ace is going to be a pretty solid play.
Yeah, and this way, if a 7K swing comes across, you only have to pitch 1K plus rest that 1 Dawn to get out of it. And naturally, with any One Piece matchup, you always you can kind of see who's winning based on how often you've triggered your leader ability. The more often you've been using it and triggering it, odds are the more value you've been getting.
All right, so using either the 1K or using the Ace effect, either way, getting out of it and going back to 6 Dawn for Beard here.
Yeah. Oh, and the Jozu comes out.
Ooh.
Oh, this is going to be painful.
That's nasty. So maybe part of the reason that we felt not too bad about using the Otama there, so being able to bounce the Cavendish back to hand is a little bit tough. You're just going to use the Dawn for the Luffy effect to get out of the leader attack, so not devastating, life-wise, but tempo-wise, that Jozu really fixed the issue.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those matchups where I remember when I was like playtesting it as like the Red Green Luffy side, the reason why I didn't like this matchup was because Jozu is so good against Red Green Luffy. Like the tempo reset is such a powerful card. The 7k swing forcing you to use 2 Dawn to get out of it means that you actually have less flexibility than you would normally have to get out of attacks for free.
Yeah. And looks like we're just going to play out the new Luffy secret rare here. So it's going to let us get 4 Dawn back active, which is helpful for being able to use our leader effect. It also has the double attack, so being able to potentially do that extra damage will be nice. We're just going to go, again, another simple 6k here. And you're in this weird position where, like, all right, do I take this? Because, they could be pressuring me with double attack, hit me down from 2 to 0. Double attack also means that you're, like, using your leader effect for ace one last time if you take damage with it. So just using the 1k to get out, we have 4 Dawn open. And I wouldn't be surprised, again, if Tyler just passes from here.
Yeah, see what gets played. We see a Bonnie, the new one from PRB02. That allows you to restand a Dawn on your opponent's attack. So getting that, another free 2k counter.
Yeah, and being a blocker, yeah. But we're going to be at 8 for Beard, and again, we did see that he got the I am Newgate off that first search. So likely your 8 Dawn play, and yeah, there it is.
Yep, I am Newgate.
Or I am Whitebeard. My apologies.
Yep. Hey, it's tomato.
It's close enough.
Yeah, and we're seeing that the new 10-drop Whitebeard come down. The 10-12, so many effects loaded into it. You got the draw 2, discard 1. You attach 2 Dawn to a character and 2 Dawn to a leader. So it's everything you want on Ace.
Yeah, and when you have, sometimes I have this situation where I don't really have anything super impactful for the extra 2 Dawn on a character, but when you had Jozu out here already, you have an 8k attack and a 9k attack coming out. So we're going to use the Bonnie effect, so that's going to get us a Dawn back active, and then we can just use the Charlestone here. So we're going to get out of the attack here, discard a card from hand to get a plus 3 Dawn back active. Yeah, our opponent having to read the card, we mentioned it, always feels good. You're like, I have a little bit of an advantage in a matchup when my opponent, and perhaps the judge just confirming, you know what, this is a set 6 card, right? This card has seen some time in perhaps in the bulk pile for a little bit, but bringing it out for this deck, and yeah, a really good tech card.
It is a crazy good card for Red Green Luffy, which is so funny that I thought they were actually going to print something like this for Red Green Luffy. Then I realized, wait, if they did, then it could use both.
Yes, yeah, which might be a little nasty. So, like, you do at least have to get the discard, right? So, but just saying, you know what, Jozu, you can attack with it, but you're just going to be able to tap Dawn to get out of it. So we're just going to leave it active, make it difficult to remove, but we can pressure with this Luffy. Whitebeard having being a blocker is a little bit nasty, and I can see the decision now here.
Oh, so one of the reasons it's such a tough turn is that Red Green Luffy is really good at staying alive, but it's hard to end the game.
Yeah.
You kind of need to create a bomb, especially when Beard's going to start dropping more and more Whitebeards. You need to, at some point in time, take a stand and be like, I need to drop a body, maybe take some hits for it, and then from there on, I can just stay alive and keep this body alive, and I should be able to win the game from there. So he's really deciding. I see the Zoro in the hand.
Yeah. So the choice is, like, I can play Zoro now. I'll use all my Dawn. Yes, Bonnie will get me 1 active, but I'll need to have an attached Dawn for my Luffy effect. The fact that Cavendish isn't on board to get that restand is tough. And so, it looks like we're just going to go a simple 7. 7 double attack still, but either a card from hand or a block to make it easy.
Yeah, with that 9 Dawn up, Beard is trying to think, okay, what can he do with 9 Dawn? He's already been surprised once, but he's going to take the block.
Yeah. And I think that's fair. You don't mind going down to 1 life with a leader attack anyways, because, again, it will offer another draw 2, essentially. And just make sure you get your block while you still can. So we're going to play Cavendish out once again, get 2 Dawn back active. And then for 5, we're going to play out the Sanji. So that will get us 2 Dawn back active with that effect. And I believe it gets you 1 more active at the end of turn, right?
Yep, it'll be 1 at the end of turn.
Yeah. So we'll have 3 Dawn open. If Bonnie survives, we'll be at 4. And we've got quite the wide board here for Red Green Luffy. It's looking really good.
Yeah, it's definitely a position where you got that, like, wide board developed. The question is, if you didn't play the 9-drop there, do you have space to do it next turn? But you have these 2 Dawn restand effects, so you can make it a lot safer to play. But definitely I can see Tyler's thinking, like, I need to create a plan where this comes down because I have a feeling there is another Beard coming from Beard.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's very fair. And yeah, I could see Tyler's like, I really wish this was on board. I wish that, if Cavendish was still here, it would have been the fantastic play, right? Because then you could have a Dawn on your leader and have this bully card. But I think this is a good spot for where he's at right now. And then, even without it, like the Luffy's still terrifying, right? Double attack is still a really good keyword in this game, and you really have to make sure that you respect it. So we're going to use the Bonnie effect to get a Dawn back active. And it looks like it's going to be Jozu into the Luffy here. We can decide to block. We can decide to use the Luffy effect. I'm guessing he pointed at the 6 drops, and that's what I'm guessing he's attacking into.
Yeah, I think Beard is starting to realize that there's like a bit of a puzzle to play against Red Green Luffy, which is how do I swing and not lose it? Oh no, looks like it was to life.
The leader. Yeah.
How do I swing and get cards out of hand? Because it becomes this kind of weird problem of like, what will actually make you give me a card if you have all this free counter?
Yeah. All right, we are going to play out the 9-drop, so it's just going to be off the hand, but when we're at 10 Dawn, that's not too bad. So we're going to go from a 6K leader to an 8K leader. We are going to be able to, apply some pressure there.
Oh, but because even if he 9K swings here, there's 3 Dawn open, so that's 6K counter to get out of the swing.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, that's what's happening. And now we have to decide if we want to attack with the new gate or not.
Very reminiscent of old school Whitebeard, the red one from OP13, because when you play, actually, I misspoke. Red Green Luffy is actually a lot like the playing against that old school Whitebeard, because you actually have to decide between swinging and just developing board, because certain turns, swinging is just not worth it.
Yeah.
Because you won't do anything. That is often better to either just Dawn heavy and drop a life on them, or just drop a body and pass.
Yeah, and now we're just going to be in a weird spot here. So I think you want to play out Zoro. I think he's a safe card to play. It just means that we're not really pressuring this leader right now because it is an 8K. Yeah, ooh. There he is. Likely attacking with Cavendish just to get the Dawn back.
Yeah, he wants to keep as much Dawn open here, I think, as possible. So he's just going to do a blank swing.
Yeah, there he is. And this set really is kind of been weird, where there's been a lot of like older secret rares that just have a lot of relevance. Zoro, I think, has been really relevant. We've seen Goldie Roger, which came out of OP09 last year. A lot of red decks, including this Luffy. I would not be surprised if it's playing it either. We're in such a late game blocker deck that there's just so much reason to include them right now. But it looks like we're just going down the line with these 8Ks. Unfortunately, I had to attach a Dawn to Luffy, even though it's not going to be attacking this turn.
And we're seeing the block come out. I think you're just doing the math, knowing, hey, I don't think another swing's coming out that's going to be very strong. You're going to keep more Dawn up than that to counter out. I don't think you'll swing that 7K.
Yeah, and I'd say that like the Sanji's like a bit of a bait. So Luffy's effect, you can only use it for Straw Hat characters, so it can't protect the Cav, but you can potentially protect the Sanji. So you have a 7K that they want to be attacking into instead of your 5K leader.
And yeah, it's actually that stipulation on Red Green Luffy that makes the Zoro so good too, because like it's the perfect target. It's a Straw Hat. It's a card that you want to protect. It's a card that basically pseudo becomes your leader once you've played it, because it's a priority to remove. Yeah, and we're just, it looks like we're thinking about if we want to attack with Luffy, we're going to say no. We're going to get the 1 Dawn at the end of turn with Sanji. I don't know if it might have been tempting to not attack with Sanji, and then we'd have 3 open and they wouldn't be able to attack into it, but we still have the blocker Bonnie. We still have the effect from it to be able to get a Dawn back too. So, and we're still at 3 life. Like we're not in immediate danger right now. Yeah, we're seeing Beard go in the tank a bit. I think he's starting to see I'm being surprised by something I'm not expecting. He's going to play this new gate. He's going to dig a bit. I mean, definitely if I was on Beard's side, I'm like I need a red rock yesterday. Yeah. I think if he had it, he would have just played it on the spot. But unfortunately, I don't think he does. So he's instead digging, and it's never bad to develop these Whitebeards, but he, without the buff of the plus 2K from a 9 beard or from his event, is definitely going to take some damage here.
Yeah, and the issue too is that we attach 2 Dawn to the 9-drop, so it does get rid of a 3k or less on the board on attack, which does include this Bonnie. It will be able to get out of the blocker and be able to get out of the plus 1k, or plus 1 Dawn, so a little tough there. Yeah, and just making sure. Yeah, unfortunately you aren't able to get the Dawn back with the Bonnie there, even if it does, quote unquote see the attack.
Yep. One of those really key, actually important balancing aspects of that card actually was that if you clear it first, then you don't get the effect. And we're seeing the 12k swing go into the Cavendish and it gets cleared. I think Beard is aware that he cannot use his Dawn to save it, but even then 12 into 6, very unlikely you'll ever be able to block it.
Yeah. And looks like we're going to go 7 into, I'm going to guess, leader.
Yep, just knowing that there's few cards in hand and 2 Dawn up that, try to get rid of that. And it's a take. Yep, Tyler can't afford to go down to 0 cards and also doesn't want to give up all the Dawn because then the Sanji becomes threatened by this 8k swing.
Yeah, but we've got all these big attacks here. We've got an 8k from leader. And then afterwards, I would not be afraid if they decided to attack with one of these new gates at the time. Like maybe they're afraid of it, but I think one attack wouldn't be outrageous.
Yeah. I think if you're Beard, you're probably like running the possibilities. You're even cards that aren't even in the deck you're thinking about now. You're like, oh, I'm going to get DMG'd and then 15, multi-swinged by the Zoro.
Yeah, right. Like there are obviously a lot of cards to be afraid of, right? But I think like Beard's honestly seen the good curve, being able to go second. He's dropped a new gate every turn that he can.
Oh, and he is going to decide to clear the Sanji.
Yeah, and that's fair. And that, not only lets go of an offensive pressure, but a defensive Dawn that Tyler would get otherwise.
Yeah, so we'll see what Tyler can do from here. I remember I saw a Charleston in hand, so we do have more counter in hand. But now it's about how do you take this position that you have that was advantageous and keep pushing with it. One of the cards in his hand, I believe, is, I wouldn't say dead, but it's the film Zoro, which he had searched earlier, but he hasn't used a counter yet. So we see 2 cards left that we don't quite know that could change how this game goes. I'm personally hoping one is a DMG.
Yeah, and it looks like we're just doing the math, right? I know you got to attach 1 Dawn to our leader. That has to happen. We're likely attaching maybe 1 Dawn to our Luffy, and then you kind of also want to attach a Dawn to your Zoro, right? So that means, you have 3 10Ks, so that's 3 Dawn plus another 3 Dawn. It'd leave you 4 Dawn open, which I think would be fine. So it'd be a 6, 8, 3 10s. But yeah, it's just going to start off with the 10K attacks.
Mm-hmm. You're thinking hard about this. This is like the toughest part about playing Aces, which is like, how do I block in a way that even though I know I could I'm getting out of this turn alive, for sure.
Yeah.
But how do I do this in a way that I don't open myself to losing 3, 4 cards to some surprise combat trick that I just haven't prepared for?
Yeah, and also, I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but we didn't use the when attacking from the Zoro effect there. We're just deciding to instead use the 2. We're going to get the extra draw.
Yep.
There's also like a bit of a contention to say, like, I could attack twice with Zoro and then keep it active, and it's difficult for you to interact with. Leaves me 1 more Dawn open defensively. No, it doesn't leave any more Dawn open defensively, but can help you be more defensive.
Yeah, I wonder if that, not doing the restand right away was because Tyler was considering some other play that required 9 Dawn. So he's like, okay, let's first do this check, see what happens. It's always nice that, I actually love that about Zoro, the fact that you can sequence the 2 effects however you want. Mm-hmm. Really key tech for Bonnie mirrors because you want to basically restand after it's been rested. Yeah. And we're seeing a 6 tap go to lead. Yeah, I know. I love to see Beard here at this table because, like, for those who have followed before, we've shown Beard quite a bit in the past. He's a very strong player. He had one of the most intense purple Luffy mirrors I've ever watched of just toe-to-toe slugging, and so he really favors these decks that have this kind of aggression and this force put forward. So he's thinking very hard. He's always thinking in both offense and defense at the same time. Well, yeah, we're going to see kind of how the rest of this turn turns out with Tyler really thinking this out. I think Red Green Luffy is one of these decks that has so much granularity in how you spend Dawn that this can be a lot of thinking. So an 8K double attack swing, not that double attack is relevant anymore, into lead.
Yeah, so we're going to go 8K. Double attack feels a little bit worse when they only have 1 life, but it's still a good amount of pressure. All right. We do get out of that with a 2K, 1K, 9 to 8. We're going to attack with Zoro. We do have to remember to use the when attacking ability if we want to restand it.
I think Tyler's now thinking like, oh, if I'm gonna restand it, am I gonna swing again, or am I just putting the swing in?
Yeah, so another 10 here. And I believe we should have 4 Dawn left open here. Yeah, and if I'm Beard, I would be like somewhat tempted to just block this one.
Yeah, knowing that like the 4 Dawn kind of has to stay up to protect him, right? Like,
yeah. And it's one more attack won't let me lose the game. Oh, it was into Jozu. Interesting. Yeah, I'd definitely consider blocking there. All right, passing. We've got 4 Dawn open. Zoro's left active too. So one other thing is that, you know, in this situation, you don't attack with Zoro because they just block it for free, right? You don't, they get the free value from it, so no use for attacking with it. But if they did block with Newgate, I'd be really, I don't know. It's tough to say if I would attack with it or not. We do have the double Charstone in hand, right? So that does offer a lot of defensive, and it's easier to defend a 9K body than a 5K body. But Beard can just try to go for game here. We've got so many attackers on board.
Yeah, I think Beard's trying to do the math, but I think what is really changing that math problem is I believe Tyler has 2 Charlestones in hand, so I think he actually has way more counter than you would actually know to get out of. So I think to be safe, Beard's going for a 7 check, so it means it's telegraphing he's not going to hard cast 10 drop, so it's either a 9 drop, which you might have played first if you want the defensives, or he's going to use the event. But using the event afterwards seems weird too, because I don't think you're actually playing either Whitebeard.
All right, we're attacking with the 11K now with the Whitebeard. And it's hard to say if it was to the leader or the character, because it looked like he hovered over the character there. All right, we're going to Charlestone. We're going to get rid of a 2K in our hand, which feels a little rough, but we do get to keep 3 open, and we do get out of it. Oh, we have 2 cards left in hand. Okay. All right, I think this is going to the 7-drop or 6K. Sorry, the 6-drop 7K Luffy.
Yeah. Taking this line where you're not dropping another Beard, I have a feeling Beard might have Red Rock in hand, and he's slow rolling it, knowing that I'm going to keep seeing what you give me, and whether or not you're going to try to commit to stay alive and try to go for some crazy lethal, expecting the Zoro is going to be around, and then when I Red Rock it, I have enough. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, that is tough.
Yep.
And we did have like the Toshiki in hand, right? But it was kind of like this weird 50-50 of like I could play Toshiki for 3, but then I lose a 2K out of my hand, and then it makes it difficult for me to apply pressure this turn. Most ace players, I'd say, are playing like 1 or 2 copies of it, but with blockers up, no cards on board, this is going to be really tough for Tyler.
Wow,
here.
yeah, Beard just, no fear, just says, you know what? It's cleared. Let's go. And this position is actually why I want to develop Red Green Luffy further and try to think of good game plans, because a lot of your other matchups are very smooth, but Ace can sometimes create this situation for you if your Zoro doesn't stick. That makes it so hard to end the game, and now you're stuck in this position where like, if I had Jambe 2 times, maybe that could get there.
Yeah. I mean, Jambe Zoro, right, is one of the best finishers in the game, I feel like. So, especially in the meta like this when there's so many blockers hanging around.
Yeah.
But if they have a way to get rid of your Zoro, you're in a tough spot.
We're also seeing, I think, overall, I think people have been running more Red Rocks in general because it's good in the mirror.
Yeah.
And a lot of aces, it seems weird, but Ace actually loves to insulate for the mirror. It's like one of those matchups that you, even though you think you're not going to see it as often as Emu or maybe other stuff, you'll almost over-index on the mirror, knowing that the mirror is very hard to win.
Yeah. All right. Well, Beard's still at 10 Dawn. Uto's also able to survive, so nice little bonus there. And yeah, I'm going to guess based on the shadow. We've got no less than 10 cards in hand. Ace just loves to have a huge hand size. We haven't put that much pressure on them with Luffy so far, and we're just going to start off with a big 9-5.
Yeah. I think with this 9K swing and 7 Dawn remaining, I think Beard is looking to drop a Marco, I believe, because he hasn't played any so far, so I think he's just going to play, I'm just going to swing what I can that's safe, and then just drop more blockers and just safely close out the game, not think too hard about it.
Yeah, because even if, like, you do put them down to 0 and Goldie Roger comes out, like, you're still at 1 life. Yeah. And we get rid of the Nami for troubles here. We're going to go a 12 to a 5K once again.
Yep, so thinking carefully about this 12.
Yep,
Tyler knows
down
that.
To 0.
Yep. If Beard commits, there's a 14 and 15K coming across. Or just 12. 12 is also a really big number.
It's a large one, so we're going to go 4. We'll just get out of it casually. But this second new gate's probably going to find its mark.
I mean, here you can't end the game outright, so do you keep going, or do you just... Nope, he's going to just go 12.
Yeah, he'll block it. Garb going to do the work. Let's see.
Oh!
Yeah, he will.
Oh, yep. Yep. That one case, that Zoro's still present there. Yeah, I know.
Still present.
Yeah, just a handful of 2Ks. Just all 2Ks.
Yeah, not only... And if it wasn't a 2K, your leader gives something minus 2K by discarding 1, right? So just really, really able, tough to overturn. I think Beard, being able to go second and play the I Am Whitebeard on curve into another new gate, like, it was just really, really strong for him there.
Yeah, I think Tyler was motioning to Beard there. It's like, I didn't see this. He was pointing at the Shanks.
Yeah.
Because, like, one of the best turns, if he had seen the Shanks right after he had dropped the 9-drop Zoro, then he could have done all sorts of plays while developing board at the same time and keep that threat going.
Yeah, or if I understand, like, why he could have played Zoro on curve. I understand why he didn't, because they were, you couldn't get the defense for it, right? You'd be leaving yourself a little bit open for it, but with the Cavendish being removed on curve like that was also, I think, really tough for the matchup. Yeah. So I think they played to their outs. I don't think they made any mistakes there. Just kind of how it goes sometimes. But obviously, a really good showing from both players.
Yeah, no, I love to see these different matchups, and I personally love Green Luffy, so I have to. I happened to open 2, so I got really lucky. But I'm like, okay, well, I still need 1, but I'm like, it's a very heartfelt card for me.
Yes, yeah. It's a great card too. So. It's really tempting to make it work. Obviously, Luffy's a fan favorite as well, right?
Yep.
And we'll see if we get to see any more Luffy throughout the day. I know a good amount of people are trying it out today, and I think Ace is the tougher matchup. I think Emu's a little bit the easier one, because the fact that they just don't have an immediate way outside of, like, if they're playing Stussy anymore to get rid of the 9-drop Zoro makes a big difference, I think, in that matchup.
Yeah. So I believe with the round just ended, we have some packs that I think open underneath the screen too. Wait,
okay.
Just to keep you guys busy, watching these matches, you will open some packs and then hopefully get something really good.
Yeah. Do you want to open your packs first then?
Yeah, I'll open my first. Yeah.
Okay, so you'll head over there. I'll see what you get, and then I'll decide if those are your packs or my packs afterwards. So we'll go from there. But yeah, obviously OP13 just released last month. It's the anniversary set, so whether you play the game or collect the game, the anniversary sets generally have some of the best cards, the best rarities in the history of the One Piece card game. We've got a lot of mangas in here. We have the alt arts. We've already seen some of the new, like, Emu, like, alt art stuff too. There could be the demon pack, if people have been saying it. And we've got 6 packs here. And let's see if Jeremy gets anything fancy. So we're going to start off. We got 3 packs of OP12, 3 packs of OP13. I don't think it's intentional, but it does have the fun holiday red-green color scheme on these. And we're going to see. Yeah, he's shaking them. He's listening. All right, that's the pack he's feeling. Oh, he's weighing them. You got to make sure. Okay, we're going to start with OP13 here. He's going to try on my my common and uncommon. No God pack, no leader off the back. We've got the Teach, we've got the Brook, we've got the Koala, we've got the Kobe, we've got some other cards. We got Bonnie. We're back at it. We got Boa. Let's see. Oh, and hey, we do have the Silver's Rayleigh, relevant SR in the Goldie Roger deck, and I think Purple Luffy's been playing it as well. So, and purple, and I also think that Blue Purple Luffy will likely be playing it. A lot of decks are kind of waiting on that new Roger promo to come out next month, so we are in the waiting room a little bit for that. We have the Hockey there. Let's see, Nekomamushi, and just a couple rares on the end there. All right, switch it back to the OP13. All right. We have one of the Saints here. We've got the Dawn. We've got the Stage. Yeah, the best card. He's got one. He's got his playset. He doesn't need that copy of it. All right. We get rid of the Stage. Oh, with the Emu. What an Emu pack there. And there it is. We got half the deck right there. All right. Oh, back to OP12. See if we get anything fancy. All right. I believe that is Teach. We've got the Stage. We're going through all of this here. The Emporio, the Hockey. The double one from there. Oh, another SR. We do have the Reiju. We have been seeing some reveals from OP14 as well, and there have been some support for the Sanji deck, so that Reiju can be really viable for that one. All right. Again, testing my common knowledge. All right, we do have the red-green Luffy's there, but a double rare, and we did get the Garp in there as well. And then last pack for us, you can tell that Jeremy's not unbiased towards Emu for this right now. All right, going through the pack there, we got the Buggy, we got the Hockey, we've got some other cards. All right. And our rares, we got Toshigi, very viable. Ooh, and the Luffy. We got a super rare Luffy here. So very viable in Silver's Rayleigh. There was a Silver's Rayleigh on table 1 as well. No doubt playing that one. And that is just an example of what you can get for your opening packs, just for entering these events as well. So there should also be some TP promos as well. I don't think we're opening that one, but we'll go back to us as we kind of wrap this up. There it is. All right. Well, I don't know if Jeremy's going to return to me before we get to our break, but we do have round number 3. We'll see if we can find some other decks. I did see also there was a Vegapunk that was 1-0 going into this round, so we'll see what they are doing and if they are in a good spot going into round 3. But we'll get more and more. Jeremy, how are you feeling about your packs?
I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it? You got so many tools for your Emu deck, though.
Yeah, my Emu deck, my Roger deck, all those, yeah. And all those Emo pieces, which, I can't wait to keep playing them.
You can do really well with those, I've heard. So.
Yeah, I can make really nice collages. Yeah.
So, well, that's cool. We'll see what packs I get on the next one, too, so we'll take that break in the next little bit. But we'll be back with round number 3. Let us know, again, if there's any leaders or any players doing well. And we'll see you guys then. we are back with round number 3 of the 401 Games Toronto Regionals for the OP13 meta of the One Piece card game. And with round 3, we've had 5 of the 6 new leaders on stream. We're going to see a Roger versus Sabo, and two favorite decks, I think, for a lot of people, right?
Yep.
They have this kind of strong red core with them. I think Roger is like one of the most unique leaders they've ever made. Obviously a fan favorite too, and it's going to be interesting to see what this matchup looks like.
Yeah, no, two very interesting decks. If you haven't seen them played before, there's no like player who's playing them. You're in for a treat because they both are such fun leaders to watch and play yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And they both have this weird thing where they can like boost and minus their like leader power, right? The fact that they're both multicolor 5-life leaders, which is kind of unheard of too. So I think that's going to be a really interesting matchup. We do still see a lot of variety still too throughout the days. We did have a good amount in the top tables from I saw, and it looks like we're just going to go to our game as well. So let's jump over there. Roger versus Sabo.
Yeah, so I believe we have the Sabo going second, and you see there are already counters on the leaders because both of them have unique stipulations around their power. Sabo being minus 1k as long as you have 4 or more life, and Roger being minus 2k if you have less than 10 Dawn.
Yeah, and looks like we've got the search there. Love drawing 2 stages with this deck. The first pitch off it very easily, and man, people in Toronto, when they love a deck, they love a deck, don't they?
Yeah.
There's a lot of high value here. Just looking at the shine on those Sabo cards, there's going to be a lot of value out there. So we found the Koala. We're going to play the Koala looking at the top of the deck for Revolution Army card.
You can grab the Searcher or I believe the Morley in this case, as I don't think Koala can find herself.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be a Betty. Yeah, and more importantly, we do get to put cards into our trash, which is important for some of our effects. But honestly, I can't think of a better start from Sabo.
Yeah,
Just seems really strong.
And getting rid of one of those stages is really good because it means that some of your unsearchable cards, like if you're running Stussy and stuff, are just more likely to be present in your draws, your natural draws. And we're seeing a 6k go across the board after ramping.
Yeah, and so Buggy being able to use the effect there to get the ramp is nice. It's kind of one of the benefits of going first is you get to do this. You do have to have it attached on, which Rogers is a requirement to do on this early game here. So we're going to use another search here. We're going to discard the searcher that we found to look top 3. Looks like we've got, Ernst has a very, patriotic Sabo deck here. We've got the manga. Or is that just the SP or is that the? No, that's the manga, right?
That is, I believe, alt art. That's the alt art.
Just the alt art. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
With the map texture in the back, I love that the One Piece card game Atlas.
There are so many prints of that Sabo in this set. Like it's, if you have it lets you have a favorite printing of it for sure.
For sure, and we're seeing the hack come down, so setting up some defensive options. So, getting your 8 cost in play. So hack has this wonderful ability to have +4 cost if you are a Revolutionary Army card, and also it has blocker. On KO, you can, I believe, trash or KO a card that is base cost 4 or less.
Yeah.
So it's very good defense option. It's Lucky Roo for Sabo, basically.
100%. And on the other side, we had, guess we'll have another scrap. You can only risk death while you're still alive, which lets you get that extra Dawn there. So we will be at, we're quickly accelerating to 10, and we have enough Dawn left over that we can do this 5k Buggy attack. Really just saying, otherwise they might have blocked with hack to get the effect, to get rid of it. The other thing is that Sabo kind of wants to go down to 3 life because it does mean that we still, we get to be a 5k leader. It's why we weren't able to attack Roger on this previous turn. And looks like we're just going to go a big 7 and 7 to 4. And yeah, we will be able to take that.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting tech. I didn't realize that you can swing the Buggy here and put the threat because it's a 4k leader.
Yes,
so
yeah,
it's so getting that free tap in is actually very good.
Yeah, because I think they're like, oh, I can maybe block with the hack, but then that means that Roger will likely attack into it. It means that I get 2 less 5k attacks on the next turn. So I think that was a really good awareness from Rami there.
Yeah, both these decks are ones that, don't always have an easy time generating a hand size advantage, especially because if you're Roger, every time you ramp, you're spending a card on it too, right? So you lose the card that you spent to ramp. So we can see ramping down to the 5-card hand size. So we see how Sabo that's played out, but we're dropping the 6-cost Sabo. So this is like the perfect card to play on 6. It'll set your leader ability active right away because it not only attaches a Dawn, but it's also going to give cost increase, making it so that the Sabo fulfills the cost increase condition. Even though the hack already would have done so, this Sabo does also fill that condition.
Yeah, and +2 cost. Yeah, Thank you, Judge. But yeah, that's really helpful. You guys have these beautiful markers. Yeah, it's really great for the stream there as well to help keep, especially in this matchup when so many things are not the printed cost that they are, right? And they have to keep changing it around. So, but Sabo gives that plus 1,000 to not only himself, but the entire field. So this hack is attacking for 6k. This Sabo is going to be attacking for 7k. Defensively, it's going to be a 6k. So that's really, really strong. And probably one of the paramount things for this deck.
Yeah, so we're seeing a pretty good opener from Sabo here. I mean, like, you kind of are building your castle, right? You want to get up all these annoying blockers. You want to have this, like, extra strength leader. You want to start playing your big drops now in your dragon. So, you know, given that Remy doesn't really have something like a Douglas Bullet developed or some way to address board, you know, he's kind of just stuck in this position. But nonetheless, he is still a person with, is it 9 Dawn?
I believe it.
One should be attached.
Yeah,
no.
one is attached.
So
yeah.
8 Dawn. 8 Dawn to spend and 1 attached, I believe.
Yeah.
Because he's ramped twice, so he should be going into his 10 Dawn turn next turn, unless he uses something like the Rayleigh here to help him get that additional Dawn.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that even if we're going from 9 to 10, you'll still have to start the turn with the Dawn attached. So you kind of still want to ramp a little bit, right? If you have an access to for it. If you also get to ramp one more, you just become an instant 7k leader, which is great. So it might be either one, just drop everything for like a Silver's Rayleigh, as you mentioned, and it is going to be, yeah, the Silver's Rayleigh there.
Yeah, and resting the Koala, because unfortunately, this Rayleigh can only target characters of 5 or less, and it's not even base, so many things are not in range to rest. And we're seeing a 6k go across. I think, Ernest, you're thinking about whether he takes the block here, or if he's going to counter out.
Yeah.
The Sabo is 8k, so it can block this.
Yeah, I think the block with Sabo is good. And now it's going either 9 to 8 or just 9 to 6. We're going to take that extra damage. We're going to go to 10 at the end of the turn using the Silver's Rayleigh effect. And now we're just a 7k base leader, and we're on board now.
Yeah, someone joked about, you know, the era of 6 and 7k leaders has now begun.
Yeah, if you don't have a way to make your leader a 6 or 7k, like, you are strictly behind in most of this meta right now.
Yeah, so on Ernest's side now, you're going to your 8 Dawn turn. You have some pretty good options here. I mean, like, Dragon, both copies, either one are great. So we see it come down here. So it allows him to bot deck, I believe, 2.
Yeah, it has to be 3 Revolution Army cards. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you do get to get the Sabo out. So honestly, I'll say this. Ernest, I don't think there's been any missteps in the sense that he's been very lucky. Turn 1 stage into being able to get 2 of these Sabos back-to-back into the Monkey D Garp. I would say that this is probably the best you could really hope for this leader. It's really been every card that he needs to see when he needs to see it.
Yeah, no, just getting this castle going. These 2 6-cost 8k Sabo blockers that also let you attach a Dawn for free every turn. So you're getting that leader ability for just for playing cards.
And it's only to the leader, so unfortunately you can't give it to your other cards because there are like situations where it might have been nice to attack 7k with leader and then 9k with one of these Sabos. So, but yeah, this is great value here. We're just going to go 8 to 7. We're going to get a 2k out of hand. We're going to go another 8 to 7.
That's going to be a take, yeah.
And pass from there. We got 2 blockers up with the Sabo as well as the hack, and we're going back to 10. So this is the first turn that Rami doesn't have to attach a Dawn to his leader, so that's pretty beneficial. And if we do have any good 10-drop plays, it could be the turn, but there's just such a wide board from Erst already.
Yeah, so we see, I think Rami's deciding between, he's got his 9-drop Whitebeard and his 10-drop Shanks, and I think he's trying to decide which one gets him more survivability and ends the game. And I think he's deciding, nope, it's going to be 10-drop Shanks because he wants to get that minus 1k on the board. So he's now canceling out the Sabo leader ability at least.
Yeah.
But the leader, of course, still has the plus 1k, but now the board no longer has the additional buff of plus 1,000.
Yeah. Again, shoutouts to the markers on this one. Yeah, this is again one of probably the most move around numbers. Like, the printed numbers on a card are not as relevant as the current numbers.
It's like a please read the fine print.
Yes, exactly. So we're going 7 to, I believe it'd be 6, so we 2k'd out with the Sabo from PRB.
Yeah, I think Rami's deciding whether or not it's important for him to go for the board or go for life here. He may think of it as, let me just try to drop you down, but no, he's going to decide to go slow down a bit for the board. I think he sees that there's 2 life on either side, both both leaders actually have access to Roger win condition.
Yes.
So you don't want to drop your opponent too fast if you're also not ready to kind of answer back.
Yeah. All right, so we get out of this. I think Hack's going to take one for the team.
Yep.
Take the buggy with it. And then go from there. But I think this is going to be the pivot turn for Rami. Like, I think, honestly, both players really saw what they needed to see, right? It looks based on hand, Rami was thinking, all right, is Shanks the play here, or do I play 9-drop Newgate? I think Shanks is likely fine. It's just you're going to face a lot of pressure from this board from Sabo on the other side.
Yeah. Sabo not really having a great way to clear this Shanks unless he sees Stussy. I don't think I've seen one in Trash It from Mills. I don't think I've seen one in his hand, but it's probably somewhere in there. Maybe it is in hand. I didn't see it, but that would be a great pickup here. But you still have lots of ways to pressure even without getting rid of the Shanks because these are still very reputable swings.
And now we have to decide, we have a couple avenues, right? We can go very aggressive. We can go, we do have the Stussy. That is
okay.
brutal.
That's a game changer.
Yeah, that... I can't think of a better go for Ernst, right? Just being able to find the cards when you need to. We have 2 Sabos right now, right? We're going to be able to attack 8K. Yeah, this is such a dominating position.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at 8K, 8K, 8K swings all the way across. You can hit them all. You could save the Sabos to block, but I think you're in a decent position. But probably the same thought has to go through your head, which is, do I want to drop him to 0 and make Roger active?
Yeah, and so this is going to be 8-7. And then you know that you're facing likely another 8. You're going to see, I believe, Dragon's on 9K right now. So, what do you do here?
Yeah, Remy giving up the 2K Usohachi, knowing that the rest effect on it is not going to be relevant. And now we're seeing a 10K come across, right? It's a. Or let me confirm Dragon's.
I think he's an
power.
8K, but I'm so used to 8-drop 9Ks that my brain's been programmed for that. But.
Oh yeah, Gecko has us all just mortified. But yeah, it's a 9K swing across because of the plus 1,000 from Sabo.
Yeah. So we're not out for Roger, but you probably wish there's one less Sabo on that other side, and perhaps one less Stussy in the deck, but that's fine. We're going to play the 9-drop Newgate, so a 9K leader is pretty defensive here. It will also let us apply some pressure. We do have the 9K from the Silver's Rayleigh.
Here it's nice you can choose to take, or
we are just going to take.
Even though he probably had enough to counter, but maybe he just played. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Odds are what he's doing is maybe he wants to be at 0. Maybe he's like, you know what? Let me just get closer to this Roger win con so that we both have access to it.
Yeah, but we're also the deck with the blockers, right?
Yep.
So I think block 2K is fine here. And again, if Rami has the defenses there, it could be tough. You might have to recognize from Ernst is that we kind of have to attack with our Sabos. Or it's such a weird spot to be in this matchup because both of us are just kind of playing chicken now, where Roger can be the card that makes the difference, and we don't want to make it too easy for our opponent to hit us with one.
Yeah, it almost makes me feel like if you were on Ernest's side, you would have swung, I guess, both Sabos, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But now we're in a weird spot because this 9K leader is kind of hard to contest. I believe Remy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in hand. So you can't quite go for it, and you also do get punished if you go for it, but don't fully commit.
Yeah. Yeah, the amount of pressure you have to go is a bit wild. And again, I've played a good amount of Sabo, and sometimes you're like, I wish I could give Dawn to not my leader, because it's a good card, but for right now, if I want to try to pressure this Roger, I have to put 3 Dawn on it, which 2 of them would be free if I play a card out, but that also requires me to play a card out, which I'm not sure if I'm doing here either.
Yeah. Feels like maybe you could put the Dawn on, naturally put 1 Dawn on leader and then swing both the Stussy and the Dragon in, because at the very least, neither of those hits are ones that Remy can take, or else Ernest can just put all the Dawn on leader and swing and just ask him for 4 cards potentially, 4 or 5. So it could be safe to just do just the bare minimum swings of 9 with the 2 big bodies.
Yeah, and thinking this turn more than I think any other turn in the game right now, and it's understood, right? You really need to kind of walk this line of applying pressure. Alternatively, unironically, it could just be good to tack into the Silver's Rayleigh. Instead, pressure that, knowing that I don't want to put them down to 0. I'd rather them just make it, difficult for them to win off the crackback, and make it a little bit easier when the next turn is likely going to be a 7K leader.
Yeah. My thinking is, if you swing 9 with the Stussy here, or with the Dragon, and they take, and you put all 9 Dawn on the Stussy and go 19,
Yeah.
that's usually just game.
For sure.
So it's a way to, you do it because you know he'll counter out.
Yeah.
And then that way you can kind of like pivot accordingly. But similarly, yeah, clearing the rally would be a 2. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like the first 9K is going to go, looks like, into Goldie Roger. Oh, he doesn't have a Dawn attached.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, unfortunately.
Yeah, and
we
you know, with these levels, right, you gotta...
We are beholden to the rules of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, it looks like we're going to play another Stussy.
Stussy, yeah.
All right. And that's okay. We're going to attach 2 Dawn to our leader here. That means that Stussy, I think, will be... Stussy a 9K?
Yep, Stussy is a 9K, so it's a 9-9, so
Yeah.
it's a 10.
So we can attack 10. I'd say that we probably just attack the Soda's rally.
Yeah, this becomes a bit of a sketchy situation because... Well, no. No one's at 0 life, so thankfully no one's at 0 life. So everyone... He can just swing into Rayleigh and kind of stop here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ooh.
I actually don't know if he... Oh, I love the addition of this.
Yeah.
So we have the hockey here, so that's just going to make essentially a free attack out of there. Everything gets the -1K again.
Yep.
Just silly. So, but looking at the board, I don't think they necessarily even had the 1 Dawn to spare for the Dragon, so I don't think it was a mistake in that way either. Chances are just playing to get rid of the Dragon anyways was the play you needed with the Stussy.
Yeah.
Because I think they might have like the, what is it, the hair attack? I can't remember the name.
Oh, yes, the Revolutionary Army counter events. There's a few of
Yeah,
them.
the hair removal fist. That might be the reason why leaving 1 Dawn is more important than not getting rid of our Dragon instead.
Yep, I just pulled that card, so I should know what it does.
Yeah, you did.
But it's essentially a Radical Beam. Everything that's 4K we call Radical Beam.
It
it's
really
funny,
is,
but
yeah.
But it's Revo Beam.
Yeah, well, especially it's a 2K with a conditional extra 2K. It makes it more Rad Beam than never existed, but yeah, there it is.
Raimi really thinking here. He knows he can't, Roger's not an option here. You don't want to be the person who drops them to 0, so you have to just keep playing this defensive game, but he is going to swing the 9 across here, knowing that if he doesn't have blockers, the Roger is not really relevant here.
Yeah, so this is another 9K going to 0. Wow, okay.
Wow.
Leaving 1 open. I'd also say that with them playing the hockey on that previous turn, that was a little tricky, right? The color of the Supreme King hockey, so that could also be another option this turn. It just essentially, given the entire board, the -1K, as mentioned, gets rid of the leader effect as well.
Grabbing a 2K Sabo, since there's so many in this deck.
There are, yeah.
2K PRBO2 Sabo, that's a blocker if you have 15 or more in trash. Yeah, so Ernest really thinking this one through. He does the search because it's free, no Dawn commitment, just lets him look at his deck further. I think he's going to probably go for it this turn. I think there's about 5 cards in hand, so I think there's a lot of different maths that you'll have lethal if you plan it out correctly. Even with the -1, it's probably just an additional consideration, but Ernest is probably thinking about how do I go for this lethal while either making the math assured or just making it so that I'm like probing for information to go for it. And it looks like it's 6 cards, not 5.
Yeah.
But
And like Ernest is probably in the mindset of, well, I played that last turn hoping they didn't have another new gate. They have another new gate now. I'm in a bit of a worse position because of it. So, I feel definitely very scared about just blocking, keeping my blockers up anyways, because I know that Goldie Roger can make quite the difference. It might be tough to get like the defense we need.
yeah.
But maybe you're like, I haven't seen that you search the Goldie Roger. I'm going to have to force you to have drawn that as well. Going to see what they have to do.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the first question is, do I assume he has Roger? Or actually, do I have lethal if he has Roger? Like, if he has 1 less counter in hand, does that actually give me also a good math here? Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah, and this has been the longest game we've had so far today, I think. We're about at the halfway mark. But we still, I think, have plenty of time to close this one out.
Yeah. This is one of those rare situations that Revolutionary Army Brick Fist would be kind of helpful because you get the 2 rested Dawn from playing it to attach with Sabo. So
Yeah, because there's so many times where, yeah, like, this Sabo's good, but in these situations, I have no cards I really actively want to play, so finding the time to actually attach Dawn's a little bit tricky.
Yeah. Ernest is doing the math and thinking like, yeah, if I play something out and I attach the Dawn, it's as if I just attached the Dawn anyway.
Yeah. All right. So, one's like going to your leader. So there's that. If you want your leader to be able to pressure the Roger, though, you're going to have to attach 3 more, which is a little bit expensive. You do have the Stussies here, so attaching 1 here and then 1 to a Stussie means that you are pressuring for 11k to 9, which is usually pretty good numbers. We do have the event, the Rogers event, which spoilers I need help with. I need to find. I need to
Yeah,
look up again. Guess we'll have another scrap. So I won't say the full name unless it's played.
Yeah, the Roger guard point.
Yeah.
And there's the zero cost event too, and which can help us as well to get just a brick out of hand, get that plus
There
2k
it
plus
is.
1k.
When they have to shrink the font and use 2 different lines, there's quite a few words in that name. So
Yeah. That's the next version of Blackbeard leader. It's going to be a leader that makes any card with more than this number of lines of text simply cannot activate.
Yeah.
Too many lines.
Too many lines. Yeah. They can't read. Yeah. Won't read.
Yeah, Remy just in that relaxed position right now because he knows this. It really comes down to what Ernest does, and all the lines that he has to make are kind of decided. He just has to live. If he has Roger, he can just go for it. So I don't see it. So maybe.
Well, so I think we do have the Supreme King Hockey here, so that will help get there. It's only giving a character Silver Israeli the plus 2k power, but giving it the minus 1k means essentially you can use this and a 2k to get out of a 11k to 9k swing.
Yeah, and I think I see the more than one event. So I think he's deciding, like, if I do this to reduce the board, is that more counters saved than if I just get the plus 3k here?
Yeah, and like there's a decision, right, of like if I end up drawing the counter event out of life, it might be better, but we are going to use it. It's going to give the minus 1k across the board again, essentially neutralizing the Sabo boost effect to anything that's not named.
Including leader, too.
Including leader. Yeah, you're right. This time instead of Shanks, yeah.
Yeah.
So we get the essentially 1k, 2k to get out of it. And this other Sussie's now back to a 9k.
Yeah, very interesting situation here because we've seen Remy's hand. We know he doesn't have the Roger in hand. He kind of is hoping for the top deck or maybe this life to be that Roger, because without that, it's hard to see how you win on the swing back.
Yeah. And we've got another 11 to 9. Again, after the Sabo leader effect, we do get to kind of lose the Dawn here. And with, let's see, we have 6 Dawn left, I believe. So if we take this, their best number if they're trying to go for game is just a 13k with Sabo. So if we have double 2k, 1k, we can get out of it. All right. I believe we got out of it, but we got 1 card in hand. 3 1Ks. Oh, that's so tough. Yeah. So this will be another 9. I think you got to bump it up to the full thing. Yeah. And if they got 2K, 1K, they get out of it.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
No. It is 11. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So close. If they had one more Dawn open, they were able to get there. I'm not sure if the Bond Clay was the last card in life or not. If it wasn't, then if that was a 2K instead, you got there. And despite Ernst seeing, I'd say, perfect curve, right? No mistakes on that. Very, very close game. I think Rami definitely had a spot where they could have won this one.
Yeah, it's interesting because I love that Conqueror's Hockey event, and I love how people can try to play it in decks that aren't Rayleigh.
Yeah.
Because it's such a great tool just on its own that like I actually love playing it in Red Green Luffy for that reason, because you want to play it in a deck where people are trying to clear your board all the time. So for something like Luffy, it's a great way to have another use for that Dawn and to get that counter.
Yeah, and like the other thing too is that being able to use that, one, when you're a 9K leader, means you essentially become a 10K leader. If you're playing against something like Emu, where they have all these 7Ks that are trying to pressure your 7K, being able to get out of that for one. I mean, obviously, Newgate with that card ends a turn, right? They are not pressuring you anymore that turn. So I think they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, and that was such an exciting razor-thin match because both sides had very sketchy situations. Like, yes, the Stussy was huge, but you could tell that Ernest had to think very hard about, if I go for this, I'm kind of inviting a whole lot of things to happen. And Remy not having that Roger might have also affected his ability to play towards it, knowing that I don't have it in hand, so I can't just steer towards it.
And I think it's always been an issue with like red-blue decks in my mind, is of where like you have so many good cards you can play, but your consistency is kind of low. Garp does help you in this deck. Actually, you can't play Garp in this one. You have the Shanks, one-drop Shanks. But the fact that you get that kind of consistency is good, but when you see the pieces, it feels good, right? I think if we had like one more 2K, we would have been in a fantastic spot. If instead of a 9-drop Newgate, if it was like an 8-drop Roger that we're getting, we'd have 2 Dawn open, so we'd have the hockey and the event that we could use too, so we could have gone out of it. So, I know Roger's a little bit in the waiting room for, one more promo card to help you out, but even without it, it's a fantastic deck right now.
It looks like for our next round intermission, we got something fun for you guys. So I think we have a quiz that we went around with. I'm going to say we. I'm going to say you guys do. So we have Lexi, who's been doing a wonderful job going around being our interviewer and also helping us collect some of the canned good donations we've been receiving this weekend. But they have been doing these interviews with people around the venue, and quizzing them on very deep-cut One-Piece card game and One-Piece questions to see if people know their stuff.
So you guys can play along at home as well. This also be a little bit of a longer break because there will be a lunch break, but we should be starting round 4 at 1 p.m. EST time. So if you guys aren't checking that out, make sure to do that then. And we'll go from there. So we'll take our break. It'll be a bit of a longer one. Enjoy the quiz, and we'll see you guys in round number 4.
What is your name?
Marco Tomasetti.
And what leader are you playing today?
I am playing Emu.
Are you excited for all of the mirror matches?
Absolutely not.
Are you prepared for the mirror matches?
Of course.
And what about the aces?
Meh. I'm ready, but not.
You're not ready?
Too many different deck lists.
Okay, well, are you ready for some quiz?
Absolutely.
A quiz?
Let's get this going.
Okay, there's a couple categories. We're going to start with this category, which is, oops, I did it again. Name a card that needed a new version printed due to the incorrect text from OP07.
Oh.
It's kind of a quick trick question.
None?
Oh, there's one.
Pass. I don't even know.
You don't? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go to we'll go to another like a new version of card. Okay. Name a card that needed a new version printed due to the incorrect text from OP09.
9. 9 was what? 9 was black. Oh my god. Trying to think. 9 leaders were what? 9 leaders were what?
It's okay. I'll give you a hint. It's a blue leader. It's a blue card.
I still don't know. Oh my god. 9 was what? 9 was Blackbeard.
It's a blue card. Okay, next.
Lifeline.
Okay, we'll do a fun one. We'll do a fun one. Okay. Okay. What are the only cards that have been unbanned?
Oh, Newgate. Can you say the new Sakazuki from OP05? Searcher Nami. How many more do I have?
You have one more.
Unbanned.
It's a blue card. Part of Buggy's crew.
Oh, Cabal.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. You got one. Okay. For an easy one. What are the secret rares from OP13?
That's way before my time.
Way before your time. Okay.
Way before my time. OP03 secret rares. OP03 was Katakuri?
Yeah. One more. The manga.
Who's that?
Soka King.
Okay, so yes.
We'll end now.
All right, guys.
One Piece card game players now, no matter what time and day it is and where you're watching from. I hope you're enjoying our 401 Regional Toronto One Piece card game regional. It's always a mouthful, but I hope you're enjoying it. We're having a great time sharing all this stuff with you and showing you guys exactly how much all these players and ourselves love One Piece card game. And if you're enjoying it, make sure to do something wherever you're watching it or whatever happening and just say you like One Piece card game too. But here I'm going to talk about the deck profile for Roronoa Zoro, who has now a few leaders, but this is the fan favorite of recent times. It's very good. It's a leader that was definitely very, very strong in the previous set, and this set it's kind of lost that same kind of intensity, but it is one of the few leaders that can still keep up with these two other strong decks you've probably heard about, which is Ace and Emu. Now, Zoro has also gotten access to some fun, cool new pieces to help them contend with Ace and Emu. So I'm going to talk a bit about that right now. But for those of you who don't know about Zoro in the card game, because you obviously know about Zoro, I'm going to talk about it right now. So Zoro's has a very unique leader ability, which is that should Zoro have 3 Dawn attached and swings into a character, like let's say Yamato. As long as Zoro has 3 Dawn attached and has combated a character, Zoro may restand, setting himself as active, and attack again so long as his target is not a character that is 7 cost or less. Meaning, Zoro could attack Yamato and restand, but could not attack Yamato again. However, if there was something in play like, let's say, 9 cost Whitebeard, even if you accomplish nothing by swinging 8,000 to a 10,000 power character, you could do it. Now, why is that relevant? Let's say I have more Dawn than that. Let's say I have all 10 of my Dawn available, and I attach 10 Dawn to Zoro, and I swing 15 into Yamato, and Yamato is cleared to the trash. I can now restand and swing 15 into Edward Newgate, which my opponent may or may not counter. But this functionally means that at any point in the game, Zoro can just decide, I don't have many good plays this turn, so I'm going to focus on putting Dawn on my leader and clearing the board, or after you restand, you can always choose to swing at leader, which means you could clear that Yamato or that Newgate and then immediately send that same power swing into your opponent's life, which makes Zoro a character that can do both balancing your opponent's board by removing it, but also swinging into them, meaning no matter what path you take, you will always be threatening your opponent's life total, which is a very powerful aspect of Zoro. Now, what kind of deck is Zoro? Zoro is an aggro deck, so if you are a person who likes to swing and win by combat and thinking about really complex math, like not math, but combat math problems and attacking your opponent and putting them under a lot of pressure, Zoro is the leader for you. Of the 3 current top decks being Ace, Emu, and Zoro, Zoro has to definitely be the most aggro-focused one because it has the most early game strategy. What's the difficulty rating, you say? Well, people say that Zoro is a deck that's pretty linear because you just swing, but actually in this current meta, Zoro has a really tough time because you have to rely a lot on your thinking of when to use leader ability and when to push hard into life and when to focus on clearing board or developing board, given that Ace and Emu are so strong. Now, your Ace matchup is slightly favored towards you because you love to clear large bodies, and being a low life leader, Ace cannot take too many swings from you. But Emu gives you a very hard time. So I would say that the difficulty rating of Zoro right now is higher than it was before. It is definitely a high skill cap deck now because in order to contest with the 2 big matchups, you will have to have a lot of practice. So you may have an easy time with Ace, but you're gonna have a very hard time with Emu. So it means it is both an easy and hard deck at the same time because of who you're facing. Now with that, let's talk a bit about the win condition of the deck. Now you saw me swing and then swing, and I'm gonna say it many times. Zoro's strongest ability and the win con is to swing and swing. Are you going 15 into the board and then 15 at life? That's a win con. Are you going 12,000 into a character, then 12,000 to life, then playing cards like Luffy is the man who became the king of the pirates to restand your leader and swing 12 at leader again? That's a win con. Most of your win cons revolve around this because Zoro's leader ability makes it very hard for people to block. So even if they have blockers set up, as long as you are swinging, if they block, you get a whole another swing to do. So most of your game plan and win con is exactly that, just swing, swing. It's not a joke. Your win con is swing and then swing again. And there are many cards in your deck that will help you do that, which aren't necessarily your win cons so much, just ways to make it happen more. But just for honorable mention, some people do consider Tashigi a win con because it's just so powerful in the early game that it can decide your whole game. Some people are running things like Shanks and DMG too, which are also kind of pseudo win cons, but they're really more like tools in your belt. DMG letting you rest 2 of any cards if that's Dawn or blockers, so help you get through some annoying boards. And then Shanks letting you spend 10 Dawn to play Shanks. And when Shanks is in play, or becomes played, you get to restand all 10 Dawn. So there's a turn where you can rest 10, play Shanks, restand all 10 Dawn. You are prohibited from playing cards from your hand at this point, but now you can attach all 10 Dawn to your leader and swing 15, while also having a 12k attacker for the following turn. Make no mistake, not a joke. Zoro's win condition is swing, then swing again. And if that doesn't work, see the first step again. And then if that doesn't work, try the first step another time. And if that doesn't work, try it again. I think it'll work that time. But let's talk about some of the plays you're gonna have in the early game. So let's talk a bit. First, there's Perona. So on your early game turn, you may want to play out a Perona, whether you're going first or second, it won't really matter. Either way, you're playing out this Perona. It lets you search the top 5 cards of your deck for a slash attribute character or any green event. So that is most of the deck. You can find things like your Kuinas, you can find things like your Trafalgar Laws, you can find things from like your Luffy the King of the Pirates restand event, you can find things like your DMG. So much searchable power, and then also obviously as a 3k power searcher, you can even just attach 3 Dawn and swing 5, which is something really important to be able to do as an aggressive deck, to have that option. The other searcher in this deck is Hiyori. Now for 1 Dawn, you may play it, and then for 1 Dawn, you rest Hiyori to do the exact same effect as Perona. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck for a slash character or an event. What makes that more annoying for your opponent is that often people have to swing into Hiyori to clear it, so you get to not only draw a card, usually you get out of having to guard out of an attack, which is pretty good. But these 2 cards help you kind of filter into your middle to late game turns, so you can make sure that your first 2 turns you're looking for the pieces you want, setting up the game plan you want, but that makes these cards very powerful. Now, let's move on to, I guess, like your middle game. There has been a new combo that's been coming out for Zoro that's very powerful in your 3 to 4 Dawn turn, and I'll show it to you now. And I'll show you all the plays you can make on this turn. So one of the underrated cards from the Zoro Sanji deck back from way back when is Dracule Mihawk. Now for 3 Dawn, you may play Dracule Mihawk. And Mihawk says that if you have 2 or less characters in play, you may now play a slash type character or Monkey Kingdom type character that's cost 4 or less from your hand rested. Now I pay 3 Dawn and I'm gonna play Mihawk. Mihawk lets me now play out 4-cost Zoro from the film Red. Now, this is because Zoro is a 4-cost slash character, so he fulfills the condition for Mihawk. It comes into play rested. But when Zoro comes into play, his effect will activate, which allows me to restand 2 Dawn. Wow. So on 3 Dawn, I just played a 3-drop, a 4-drop, and I have 2 Dawn now to search or do whatever, or just swing 7. That's a lot of things to do all in 1 turn. But wait, it gets better. Zoro's effect is at the end of his turn, he'll restand. So not only have you played out this Zoro, when you end your turn, Zoro will restand, meaning you've played a 3-drop and a 4-drop, and your opponent can threaten neither and can only swing at you. And I don't know about you, but if someone swings at Zoro, I'm happily taking that life so I can just keep going and keep swinging next turn, because I'd rather keep the board than a high life total, unless there are situations where you want to keep a high life total to make sure you're winning this war of attrition in terms of how many swings you're putting into your opponent. Now, that is one of the really powerful plays you can do on your 3 Dawn turn. And even on 4 Dawn, it's still great because the play is the same. You restand 2 Dawn, and now you can swing 8. And it's the same play, or you can choose to swing 7 and have the remaining Dawn to play out a search or something like that. Another thing to note is a lot of people like developing things like Koshiro, which gives you KO protection. So against Emu, developing Koshiro early is really important because you need to protect your bodies from their KO effects. So this Koshiro coming out early, whether on this 3 Dawn turn, which you can do, 3 Dawn, restand 2, rest 2, play Koshiro from your hand. So you can fill the board very quickly off just 3 Dawn. So this is one of the key combos. Now, Koshiro doesn't have to be there, but most times, I think Zoro players would agree that you want to have this developed to start protecting your board because that way Emu is forced to clear the Koshiro first. So that's another play. Now, less popular now, but still an amazing play is that on 4 Dawn, people can play things out like Kuina, which when rested allows you to rest a character that is cost 4 or less and attach 3 Dawn to your leader. So you can start to clear your board and swing into your opponent's life. Very powerful card. Not as relevant right now because there's not the same number of targets that you're going for. Really good if you're clearing Emu's first target, but because it dies so easily, you kind of want to set up something that kind of lasts a bit longer, but very good against Ace too to get rid of Marco or just get around the Marco. But yeah, these are some of your early game plays. I think honorable mention here is people also like playing out things like Tashigi, which also give you removal protection on those turns, but it is less prominent because it is unfortunately not a strong turn to spend most of your Dawn doing this, but sometimes you have no choice and it's still good to set up removal protection for your board. All right, let's go into the really fun turns for Zoro now, the turns that are most terrifying because of the incredibly strong cards in Zoro, which is our favorite new addition as well as one of our favorite oldies. So for 5 Dawn, you can play Tashigi. Tashigi lets you rest a character that is 6 or lower, which is great, and then attach 3 Dawn to your leader, meaning the turn you play Tashigi, not only are you resting something, you now can immediately challenge it, swing into it, set yourself as active, and then swing into your opponent's life while developing a 5/7 body. Now, these 5/7 bodies are very strong at the end of the game because 7k is the magic number swinging against 5k leaders. So Tashigi is one of your favorite cards to play on 5 or 6, doesn't matter. It's simply just a very strong card, pushes the game. You've probably heard about it a million times and had it played on you many times. So let's talk about the new fun card that makes Tashigi even better. Now, in the newest set, we saw a really interesting card, which is this Trafalgar Law from Film Red. His effect is that when he is played, you may choose to bounce a character from your field back to your hand. So let's say I played Perona earlier. You know, I have this Perona in play, I search for something, and I search Law himself. On 6 Dawn, I may rest 6 to play Law, and I can bounce this Perona back to my hand. Should I choose to do so, I can play a character that is 5 or less from my hand into play rested. So I bounce this Perona back to my hand, and I play out Tashigi. So I can do the same play that I did with playing just Tashigi, but this time I'm playing not only that, I'm grabbing a Law, or I'm playing the Law, picking back up a search to my hand, and playing the Tashigi at the same time, meaning I am up technically this one card, this Searcher, which I can now play again to look for more Tashigis, more Laws, and more fun. It makes Law a really powerful tool because it even works on a Tashigi that already is in play. So I could even, let's say if I was going first and on 5 Dawn, I play Tashigi, and on my 7 Dawn turn, I swing Tashigi, and I'm at 7 Dawn right now. I can play Law for 6 Dawn, pick Tashigi back up, play it again rested, rest a new target, and attach the 3 Dawn to my leader, making it so that I can just keep using Tashigi's effect over and over again, and it doesn't matter that it comes into play rested because you'd already swung with it, it was already going to be rested anyway, which is great. So Law is a really great tool to help you just keep the pressure from Tashigi happening over and over again, refill your hand with resources like this Perona, play it again, to note, if you don't want to have this Mihawk in play, the one that played out the Zoro, let's say if you had a really good start, what you can do is you can even do this combo to pick the Mihawk back up, so you have this 2k back into hand. Very good play. But that is one of the key differences, is how much you can now kind of recycle and gas back up as you're playing.